Hey, everybody. Jim? Steph.
Hey.
So, here we are.
1 year.
1 year later. We're up, by the way, we're not on our boat because our boat, can't see it, but they put all the transient boats about half a mile that way. And we had absolutely, hey, Dave McFadden, we had absolutely no Wi-Fi. So we're actually sitting up at the marina office. There's a deck here. They're closed. A couple late boaters getting their ski boats out of the water. Hey, Phil. Figured you'd turn on to Stephanie's cell phone, but anyway.
Hi, Phil.
So, anyway, who knows what kind of commotion's going to go on. There's a gigantic bee.
It's kind of quiet. Yeah,
it is kind of quiet.
It's pretty quiet.
Anyway, so here we are at the marina. And we went to dinner last night in McClellanville. This town of a population of probably 989 year-round. No police. They said no towns department, no nothing. It's just a quiet little community.
I don't even know what people do with their trash. I guess take it to a dump somewhere or something. But it was so cute, beautiful homes. You can't cut down trees, so there's big old 100-year-old oak trees with the live, what is it called, Spanish moss hanging from it. It was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Peaceful, quiet. And there was a little dolphin that swims up this tiny little river, and she's blind in one eye, and she comes and swims right next to the boats and begs for food, but Jim wouldn't let me feed her, which he's right. He's right. You're right.
I read somewhere where you're not supposed to feed the wildlife, and I think that means dolphins too. And Steph said, get dolphin-safe tuna. She almost had me going with that one. So, anyway, we hoped some people would tune in. I think we were going to see if my parents could tune in on Steph's page, but I only see Phil Brakefield. But anyway.
I'm so popular. Thank you, Phil, or I would have had 0 watchers.
Phil, good thing you're there, man. So,
here we are, a year of living in a fairly small space. Pretty nice boat, but
compared to a house.
We've never even measured how big it is.
I think I did at one point, and I don't know if I came up with 400 square feet?
Oh, it's got to be more than that.
600 square feet?
I don't know.
I think I measured it was 800 square feet. I don't even know.
We're really bad with math anyway, so fairly small space, but pretty nice. Very nice. Very nice. And
so
we love it.
We came up with a couple notes, and then we said, if you want to ask any questions, you can do that. You know, we're part of a lot of forums for boat people, live aboards, different ones, and there's a lot of people in those forums that are wanting to live aboard, and we thought maybe we could answer some questions. So we got 3 categories. You ready for this? Pick a category. We have common questions, the questions we get all the time. We thought we'd tell you about those. And then we have some of the really good things over the last year and a couple of the bad/scary things. And then we'll end up with what's different after 1 year.
Yeah.
And then also we'll end with what's next.
Yay, Rita! Hi, Rita!
Wait, Jim, if you could shift the camera to where it's just on Steph.
I love it.
I got a hand signal here for my butter Phil.
Behave yourself.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. So
all right. So
common question.
Whose idea was it?
And the wind is picking up, so I hope it doesn't knock over. It was my idea. I wanted to travel.
Yeah.
And I like to experience different things. And I was really fried at work. They called it retirement. I didn't really retire. I can't retire at 31. So I just wanted to do something different. Jim wanted to move out of the house. And he didn't want to care for a lawn or anything like that anymore, so he suggested a townhouse. I said that was boring. Batted around a lot of ideas, came up with the idea of living on a boat. And I kind of thought it was a unique thing and didn't really realize that there's a lot of people that do this. There's a lot of people that live on boats. So
literally,
we're not that unusual.
I mean, really tens of thousands. So one of the common questions I'm going to jump into the mail question, right?
Okay.
So people ask, how do you get your mail? So we have a mail forwarding service, and actually we became Florida residents a couple of months ago because Florida has no income tax. So, I mean, that's a big reason, and we're always traveling. Why do we want to pay 7 or 8% in Pennsylvania. We're never there
We
anymore.
don't live in Pennsylvania at all anymore.
We don't live
our
there
boat
anymore.
Well, now our boat's registered in Florida, but it was registered in Maryland because that's where we bought it and that's where we keep it
So
3 to 4 months a year.
yeah, so there's this really cool service which was created by boaters for boaters and RVs. Anybody who travels, anybody who doesn't have like a physical address for the most part.
But you have to own something. You have to own a boat or an RV or something.
Right. So the interesting thing is on each of our new driver's license, there's no street address. It's the whole registration number of our floating home. So I can't wait for the cop to see that for the first time. But so anyway, when we registered our mailbox with this service, our mailbox is 13554, which means there's, at least at this one company, and there's a lot, there's 13,544 other people doing what we do, whether it's on boats or RVs. And we've met some people who've been doing it for years. You just heard.
I just read an article about a couple in their 90s that are still living on their boat. The first family that I found out about when I started researching living on a boat, they're a family with 3 children. They started when their kids were 4, 6, and 9, and it's been almost 10 years, and they just circumnavigated the world with 3 kids. So
the world. They went around the entire circumference of the world. So I feel like what we're doing, man, it's like nothing. I know, we're circumnavigating the intercoastal waterway. So, well, as I say, we're still afloat. We haven't sunk yet. So that's how we get our mail. So anyway, we actually, when mail arrives at our mailbox, they scan it and they send me an email, and it shows me a picture of the mail, so we know what we have. And if we get packages, it shows us that. And then whenever we want, we just go online and say, send all this stuff to this address. So we're going to be at this marina that we arrived at today for 3 days. So I contacted our mailbox and said, send it so it arrives on Wednesday, the day before we leave. And that way, about every 2 weeks, we get our mail. But for the most part, when we started doing this, we have all of our bills are either on auto pay to a credit card. There's my sister. We have auto pay and a credit card, or it could be my parents, or we get paperless billing. So we've really cut down the mail. We get a couple magazines and some other things, but so that's how we
order from Amazon.
Oh, Amazon! Good Lord, they always find us. So that's how we get mail. That's who Ideas was. The other question we get a lot, especially this winter, because we had a lot of cold spell, is, do you have heat on the boat? Hell yeah, we do. Neither of us.
Heat, air conditioning, washing machine.
We have 3 heat and air conditioners, and we didn't want to. Hey Pam, we didn't want to go camping on the water. So I mean, this is for the most part our floating home. It is a home, 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2 showers, although one is a closet.
One's a closet.
And we have for the most part central, but there's a forward and aft and a main heater air conditioner for the salon. So we are warm and toasty, or we're nice and cool.
Very comfortable.
Which we were today. The next question is, what about Wi-Fi? That's the biggest challenge.
This is the example. We couldn't do this from the boat.
Yeah, we're sitting up here.
Problem solve. That's one. If we talk about the good, I love the challenge of problem solving. When we come across a problem and we have to figure it out. And we always do, somehow. We just figure things out. So, yeah, we were going to do this, and we said, well, we're not getting Wi-Fi down at the boat. Let's go up to the marina office. They have this nice deck. It overlooks the water.
And because the boat, let me show you real quick. So our boat is way down there's our floating home, like way down there.
You can kind of see it.
You can kind of see it. Yes, there it is, way down there. Anyway, so this place gives us golf carts.
Yeah.
So there's a golf cart at the end of the transient dock, and we go zooming all the way up here. So anyway, we're sitting on the dock, on the deck of and pretty much I think most of the recreational boaters have gone home, or they've gone to the bars or somewhere. So we're sitting here by ourselves. And
cool. There's other transients that are coming through. So,
and the final thing on Wi-Fi is I have 4 hotspots. Verizon has something called the Jetpack, so I have 3 of those. And I have a T-Mobile because sometimes you're in a marina where the Verizon's not good, but I do have...
oh my gosh, no, it's not.
What?
I see a cat on the dock, and I thought it was somebody that we had at the other people that had the cat.
Oh, no, their boat's not that big. Anyway, let's say, Steph, this is who we're talking to. And She loves,
Debbie knows who Cat
she
Lady
loves
is.
the cats.
Remember Cat Lady, Debbie?
So anyway, where was I? Oh, and then I have a T-Mobile. So that's enough about Wi-Fi. We get
yeah,
by.
That's boring. Okay.
And
That's
the last common question was, how do you get around with no car? We do not have a car.
Well, we do have a car. It's in
We
our
still own one car.
Our nephew/son's back.
Yeah.
Down their driveway.
Oh, Mom and Dad are watching. Hey, Mom and Dad. Hope you're feeling better, Dad.
So the car, yeah, we've had the car sometimes. When we go back up to the Chesapeake Bay, we'll get the car. But a lot of times we don't. They have loaner cars. The last marina where we were,
Yeah.
it's been 2 marinas ago now. But when we were in,
Where you did the grocery shopping.
Yeah, that was Charleston.
yeah,
and
right.
then we were in McClellan. So they have loaner cars. They have loaner bikes. Every boater that knows you and says you don't have a car, they right away will say like, oh, you can borrow my car if you want. They just like, I just met you at
We're
minutes ago.
in
You loaded me your
Jacksonville.
car.
In Jacksonville, where we spent 3 months, they had a Publix and a whole shopping center. It was
And
less than a half a mile,
CVS.
and they had these nice bikes which had baskets on the back. So we went and grocery shop. So Phil wants to know about laundry. That's a very good question.
Yeah, so we have a it's a one-piece washer dryer. It doesn't dry real well.
Because
and-
it's on 110 volts.
Yeah, and so, but it gets real warm up on the top deck. So we can do laundry there. We've been to a number of marinas that have free laundry, which is awesome. Otherwise, you just have to save up a lot of quarters. Almost every marina. So we stay in marinas 95%
Because
of
of
the time.
Blue, yeah.
Because of the dog. Yeah, anchoring out, we've only done a few times. I would really like to do it more.
It means it means unstrapping the dinghy, putting it in the water, getting Blue in, taking him to shore, bringing him back. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass, but
dramatic. Oh, it's such a challenge.
hey, who takes him out at 5:30 in the morning? Anyway, that's enough on that. So anyway,
yes.
that's the laundry situation, Phil.
Yeah, so the answer will greatly influence. Oh, laundry. I do the laundry. Jim changes his clothes more
raining?
often than I do. Oh yeah, we might
my
be sitting
God,
out
it's
here in the
raining.
rain. This is great.
Now it's starting to rain. All right, let's go real fast.
Jim changes his clothes more than I do. It really freaking is raining. Okay,
All right,
so.
well,
What
we can actually move
you,
either.
okay, if it doesn't rain bad.
It's raining now. It's not that bad.
Hey,
All right,
Mindy!
so we're going to share a couple fun
Is
facts
Grayson
with you.
on? Put Grayson on it, Mason.
So, all right, we're going to share a couple fun facts, and then we're going to go with the good.
Knocking the table. Watch this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a couple fun facts. So far, we've done approximately 2,025 nautical miles since we started. It's a lot of miles. Our average trip over all of whether we take a short day for 2 or 3 hours
true.
or a long
Okay.
day, the average trip is 55 miles. And our average speed is 14 knots. Now, our maximum speed is about 25 knots, which means we can sometimes, when you leave a marina, you can spend a half an hour to an hour going at idle speed. And then you can get up and go.
So that's going like 7 miles an hour, 8
Right.
miles an hour. If we're passing another boat, sometimes we have to go, we have to go slow past them because, as Jim says, it's such a manly wake that it'll knock their boat.
Oh, we swamp them.
So we can't swamp. You always see these signs. You are responsible for your wake. Yes, we've made a mistake a couple times having
Let's
a
not
big
talk about
wake.
that.
Okay.
We got called a very nasty name on the radio, so we don't
We
make
went
that.
flying past a marina. Really bad thing to do with our wake. And thanks, Stacy. And they kind of cussed us out on the radio. But
And
we
rightly
made a
so.
mistake. Yeah.
I mean, they
so
didn't have-
now every time a boat goes fast past Jim when he doesn't want them to, he cusses.
I cuss them out. Stephanie,
No,
that's not
not-
appropriate. How old are you? That's not appropriate. Anyway, real quick on the location. So we bought the boat on the Chesapeake Bay. And so when we moved on a year ago today, about 10 days later, I think on the 30th of April, we set out and we ran up to Rhode Island, where Jessica, our daughter, lives, and our 2 grandkids, and her husband, Jamie. We always mention Jessica and the
Jamie
kids,
and the kids.
but Jamie lives there too.
So that was a big trip up to Rhode Island. The Narragansett Bay is so beautiful. So beautiful. So we'll go back there. Anyway.
And then Rhode Island, back to Maryland to wait out the hurricane season for October.
It's usually not safe to go south. Well, especially this hurricane
last
season
year was really
nuts.
bad.
It was really bad. So we left October 28th to start our trip south. And we went all the way down the coast. We went Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and then Florida. And we got to Jacksonville. And basically, it's really expensive to keep moving. Marinas cost a lot when you keep moving. So, and also the fuel is rather pricey. So once we got to Jacksonville, we just kind of had to stay put for 3 months. It was a beautiful marina.
Well, the other
really,
situation
really nice.
was because of the hurricanes, there wasn't a lot of slip space in marinas
true.
further south, because a lot of the boaters that were down in the Keys and things like that, they didn't have a place to keep their boat, so they just moved their boat farther north. So it was there wasn't that much available marina space if we wanted to keep going.
So,
Has there been an absolute favorite place? Oh, Phil, what a question.
oh my gosh, yeah. Oh gosh.
Today, the river we were on today.
Well, he said a favorite place where you docked and why. Oh gosh, a lot.
Yeah, but there's no way to
They're
judge
all
that.
different. They all
Last
offer
night was
some-
amazing.
Yeah, like the little town of McClellanville. Of course, the marina itself was just like a simple little, really simple. With
It was
the
a dock.
shrimp boats. It was really
It was a
simple,
straight
but
dock. There was no slips. And also, so depending on the size of the boat, you might fit 2 giant boats or 5 boats, and that's it. And literally, I think I showed a picture this morning on Facebook. You can look, and all the shrimp boats were right behind us. It was really cool. Captain Buzz! I sent him an email. Yes! Buzz went off Facebook. Captain Buzz, our good buddy. He's the... so many good memories about Captain Buzz. Good to see you, my friend.
he's helped
All
us
right.
get through a lot of this.
Yes, he has. All right, so now we're going to go with the good.
Okay.
We'll move on.
Our
We'll keep-
favorite place that we docked. So, Phil, we got to think about it.
Block Island? That was pretty damn
Oh,
fun.
we went out to Block Island for a day.
That was our first
And we didn't
quote
dock.
unquote leaving the coast, because it's how many?
20
13,
miles?
20 miles off the coast.
20 or 13 somewhere. in that
13,
range.
20, 80. I mean, what's the difference really when you got a boat like ours?
Okay.
Okay. Let's go over some
So
of the
the good.
Go ahead.
Okay. Obviously, the slower paced life. We're not like rushing. We're disconnected from all, like the area we moved to, Exton, was out in the country
30 years ago.
5 years ago. And then it just built up. And it's just like crazy busy. And somewhere it used to take, was 5 miles and you could get there in 5 minutes. Now it's 5 miles and it takes you 20 minutes to get there. So just we're removed from a lot of that. We're at the edge of towns or in small towns. So we just love that.
And every day we have beautiful scenery. And when we started this, and actually still most days, we like, I feel like we're on vacation. Every single day is like vacation.
It's so beautiful. And I think what we like is it changes. We've been going along these rivers, and there's these beautiful waterfront homes, and we see one, and we go, oh my gosh, what a pretty home. Look at the deck. Look at their chairs. Look at their gardens, their pool in front of the river. They have a boat, a dock. And then we go, but that's it. That's what they see. They're in that one space. And
Oh, I see.
we love that we moved.
This is Debbie's answer to Phil's. What was your favorite? It better be when I visited. When my sister Debbie visited, that was it. Hands down the best. Oh my God, that was a day and a half.
So we love that things keep changing and that we keep seeing different places. So we'll find one place that we really, really love, and then we move along and we find another place that we really, really love. And
we're seeing parts of the country that you would never see from I-95 or any route.
Yeah.
And last night, again, this tiny little marina, and there's this thing called Active Captain, which tells you, it's like boaters rating the marinas, telling you what to look out for. They tell you about restaurants, so it's not like a book of ads. It's like boaters helping boaters.
Advising on rotors.
So they said, if you go to this place, that one's not too much. If you go to this place, you can go to this restaurant. It's about 4 miles from town. Or 4 miles. 4 blocks from town. So we went there. I put a picture of Steph in front of it. It was the most amazing thing. First of all, I'm pretty sure in this tiny town there's no health department. I'm not saying it was filthy, but it was just.
Good, but
it had been there for 100 years, and the fish and the shrimp.
More than that, it was the first business in this little town.
And the fish and shrimp came off the boats that day. They had homemade key lime pie. And we're walking back, and everybody, we're like people watchers too. We're watching, everybody that walked in knew everybody. And
or if they didn't, they just start talking to you. Some guy, he had been hunting up on the Chesapeake Bay. Well, the Chesapeake Bay is big, you know? Huge. And he's like telling me where he went hunting. And there's a store here. There's a something here. And I'm just like nodding and smiling because we told him we keep our boat on the Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah, it's not a lake. Anyway.
It was funny. He's
but
like,
everybody was so doggone friendly. And this is another
People
thing we
start
noticed.
talking to each other, yeah.
When we're in these towns, and mostly down the intercoastal, you're in small towns. And, at least where we used to live, people are walking by, looking at their phones. They don't even look up. If they say hi, it's like, hey, how you doing? When we went to our first small town, which was Edenton, North Carolina, we got off and we're walking Blue. Here comes a couple opposite on Main Street, like Mayberry. I mean, they actually had a Sears and Roebuck with a tractor and washing machine out front. It was an actual old Sears.
Not the washing machine, but the tractor.
I just
and
embellished that.
lawnmower.
I embellished that.
Did
There was
embellish.
definitely there was a lawn
Might
tractor.
have been a lawnmower.
All right. Don't correct me on cameras. It was very embarrassing.
They don't have a washing machine out in the street.
Okay. So anyway, and I said, hey, how you doing? And the guy looks me, stops dead in the eye and goes, well, we're doing good. And we hope you are too. I'm like, what the hell? I thought we were in
like
Pleasantville. It was amazing.
Yeah,
And so we were walking back last night after this amazing experience. And I don't mean this to sound, it's not a political thing or any other thing, but I said, I bet these people just get up every day. They live their life. They're not tuned into like, New York, Washington, LA, New York, all this crap. They just this is
they
their
just get
life.
Up, they go to work. They care for their neighbors.
They look out for their neighbors. We heard
yeah.
that time and again, and it was so refreshing to be like out of the washing machine of some of the loud noise that's around. So it's very peaceful. Anyway, this was yours. Doing something.
Yeah. So just outside our comfort zone, doing something different, rather than doing what's expected and what everybody does. Hey, Amy. It's kind of like you raise your kids, you either stay in that house and your grandkids come back, which I really wanted, but my grandkids are going to get to come visit Grandma and Grandpa on a boat. So that's pretty cool. And
that's what you came up with the name for the blog, the top on the picture.
Yeah.
The tagline.
So, okay.
Well, tell them what it is.
From practical and predictable to adventurous and exciting. So I just love that we're doing something different. That's what I love about it. Obviously the minimalism. Just learned you don't need all this stuff. They talk into it. You see the ads. You have to have this. And I'm like sitting there going, you don't have to have that. But you listen to it so much and you just get brainwashed into thinking that you have to have so much stuff. So we've done fine. We have everything we need. We've never looked and go, oh my gosh, I did want a crock pot. So.
And she makes great meals with a crock pot. So we found a place for the crock pot.
We found a place. We just learned you just keep rearranging and making it work and things.
Hey, Sharon. So that's really a thing about, it's sort of tiny house living because you don't have space. So it's not even a decision. Do I need it? Do I want it? Can we afford it? It's like we have no room for it. So you actually
have to think about it. You have to really put thought into it.
You really learn to live with less, which I never thought I'd be a minimalist, but now that I understand what it is, I think that's
he
kind
still
of
buys a new T-shirt.
I buy a T-shirt in every location we go. I buy a T-shirt. And
Where's this one from?
Oh, this is Playa del Carmen.
Del Carmen.
We went to Playa del Carmen. I bought a T-shirt, proving my point.
Okay. And more good. Blue has done well. Blue's fine.
Well, except he's now a fat you-know-what.
He has put on a lot of weight.
Like 20 pounds?
Yeah, well, okay, so he's eating a little too much. So we're trying to cut
Well, if you lower your voice, they're not going to hear you.
Okay, well, it's kind of a secret that my dog's fat. And he only fell in the water once. So that's pretty good. One time he did fall in the water.
Scared the bejesus out of us. Because the water was black. The dog is black, and we didn't know where he was. And we went out looking for him, and we heard this commotion. He was trying to get up on a dock. And of course, it's because he's overweight, he couldn't, and we couldn't reach anyway. So both of us are laying on our stomachs, picking him up, getting him out of the water. That was scary.
We got a dock hand to come over and scoop him up, but he's okay.
Speaking of
scary, he just shook himself off. Okay, so now we went from the good.
Now we'll go to the bad.
Some of the bad or the scarier things that have happened.
So I listed, we don't see the kids and grandkids as much, but then Steph said, yeah, but we get to see everybody now because we go to Jessica's, we were up in Rhode Island.
Spend a few months there.
Spent months instead of just the usual holidays, so that's been good.
We're going up for a weekend and coming back, so we can go up and be near Jessica and Jamie and Nathan and Lucy for a while. Then we were all the way down in Florida near Jim's parents. And that worked out.
We got to see my parents quite a bit, which was nice. And obviously they're...
much more often than we would if we just lived in one place.
Yep.
And then we'll go back to the Chesapeake, so we'll be near a lot of our family there.
And then
Only my sister, who lives in Oregon, is trying to figure out how we're going to get there.
Yeah, we're not driving to Oregon. She can take a flight, and we'll put her on the boat over here.
Okay.
So traveling, which we really love to do, we figured out we've almost done a full year, and we've tracked all of our expenses.
Well, we have done a full year. We just haven't tracked.
We haven't. Yeah, we got to catch up.
We got to catch up on all the expenses.
It's approximately 3 times as expensive to travel as it is to sit still. Number one, think of it like when you stay in hotels every night. So when we're staying in a marina for a couple nights, they charge you anywhere from $1.50 to $3 a foot, and say we're 50 feet. So figure that math, and if that's for a whole month while we're traveling, that really adds up. So just for comparison's sake, when we stayed a month in Brunswick, Georgia for December, we paid $660 for the whole month. But you can figure at approximately $100 a night times 3, that's $3,000. So it's very, very expensive. So that's the docking part. Plus there's the fuel. We burn a crap ton of fuel when we're moving. So we love to travel.
We do like to be on the move.
We do like to be on the move. So we're trying to find that balance.
Yep.
Running aground is not fun.
It happens. We've done that twice. Boat's broken down.
In the ocean. This guy got seasick. She didn't. So.
Yeah. So it happens. Seasickness. Yuck. Okay. Repairs.
Yeah, we just had an unexpected $2,500 repair. But you know what? Sometimes you got to replace your washing machine.
You do it at home. Yeah. Your heater, your roof, your siding on your house, your whatever. Things
But there was a hole in the boat that I thought should be fixed, because I'd rather keep the boat on the top side of the water, so we fixed it.
I think one that I spend a lot of time outdoors, so that's a real positive. I love that. I go on walks. I go on bike rides. We're obviously out in the boat. We're outdoors a lot. And something that's hit me, here really comes the rain, is litter. It's really bad. It's really bad everywhere. We're just in such a throwaway society right now. And I'm not saying just in the water, but roadside, it's rampant. So that's a really sad thing.
And so two more we're going to go, and then, because it really looks like it's going to rain. What's different after 1 year? Well, for me, first of all, I am 100% more confident driving a 50-foot boat than I was a year ago.
And he used to always say, I'm not mechanical, or I don't know this stuff. And I finally said, after we were doing it for a while, I go, you got to stop saying that, because you do know this stuff. And he was talking himself into, I don't know this, but he does know it now.
Like just today, so we pull into this, and I'm always like, if you pull into a marina and there's wind or current, it's like, it takes what's already hard and it just moves your boat. So we're coming up this canal, and the guy goes, you need to spin around so we can plug your electric in. And I said, should I go all the way up there? He goes, I would do it here. And I said,
he tested his
He challenged my manhood and my captainship. So like a boss, I went whoomp, 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 and I parallel parked that boat. It's pretty amazing.
He's pretty good at docking now.
And Steph drives more. That's very different. She drove over half of today.
At first I was scared to death. I don't know it. And plus, he likes to drive, so it's hard to get him to give up. If he has to run downstairs for something, I get in the driver's seat, and then
she's holding on, not letting me in.
So then when he comes back up, he's like, okay, I'm back. And I'll be like, let me drive for a while. So I'm driving more and more and learning more.
And another one that's different is we've really learned to roll with things as they come, because things change. Like the other day, we had a float plan. We were going to go out into the ocean where we can really boogie. And despite all the apps and the weather and everything else said it would be safe, but the waves came up to 3 to 4 feet and shallow, so we were pounding and rolling.
It was just not fun.
Steph said, "We're out of here." Well, you can't exactly just find an exit and hit the beach, so we had to find an inlet, which was about an hour, and then we went in and continued our journey. But you know what? You got to roll with it. You got to be safe.
Yeah, we were rolling too much, and I was like, done.
And then we both gained a tremendous amount of skill and knowledge. I never knew so much about weather and waves and currents.
And there's so much more to learn, but we're learning a lot. And
so this is really cool. So when I'm pulling into a marina and I'm assessing, because you don't always see the water because you're moving. So when I do, first thing I'm pulling into a marina, I'm looking for flags. Every boat has a flag, or there's flags on the so I'm looking what direction are the flags going. And then if I look down, like where the pylons are, you can see if the current's going, well, let's say north, south, east, or west. That's going to tell you what effect it has on your boat. So I didn't know this stuff a year ago. So our knowledge base has increased dramatically. All right, so we're going to wrap up here. think we've been going. Well, I can't see a clock.
We don't have a time.
Hey, what time is it? Somebody tell me the time. No, we're going to go anyway. So we're going to wrap up here with what's next. Phil, I'm a child of the 60s. I thought you were a child of the 50s. Oh.
A floating commune thing I'm in. Oh, my
I'll do the laundry. Sold.
Some people literally do their laundry like in a bucket, and they use a plunger to swish it around. Like, we are not that.
Thank you, Jess.
Oh, it's 7:30. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you, Jess, for the time.
Steph goes, we're not going to be on more than half an hour, so wrap this up. Okay.
We're going to get bored.
All right.
Okay.
What's next? So when Stephanie originally came up with the idea, when we talked about it, we agreed to an 18-month plan because I'll do this forever
Well, we
within
didn't
reason.
know that going into it.
Right.
We had no idea.
There was a lot of unknowns. I mean, we love each other to death. We're really good, but what's it going to be like? And by the way, we are 24/7. She listens to every phone call, and I mean, she's there, and we're together all the time.
Get off the boat and go for a walk, or go up on the top deck. Like, there are different places to go, but. So the original plan was go to Rhode Island, back to the Chesapeake, down to Florida, back to the Chesapeake, and we'd be done. But we're not done.
No way.
So much
Loving life. Living the dream. We're going to keep going.
We're going to keep going. So we don't know. We'll go back. We'll be on the Chesapeake for May and June. Then back up to New England, somewhere in July and August. Check out more of New England. Then we're going to have a week's vacation on Long Beach Island in New Jersey in September.
And we get to live in our boat still.
Yes, so we'll have our own vacation home.
Yeah.
We'll bring it with us and not have to pack any luggage. And then we'll head back to Florida, either maybe try the Bahamas or the west coast of Florida.
Yeah, I'm really interested to try the Bahamas. I mean,
Wi-Fi is the tricky part.
Yeah, that's the only thing, because I need Wi-Fi to work and to work with my clients. And everybody says Wi-Fi in the Bahamas sucks, so that would be a challenge. So we're either going to do that, or we're going to go all the way down, about 3/4 of the way down Florida. There's a waterway that traverses Okeechobee or something like that.
It's the lake, like it connects a bunch of lakes across
rivers
Florida.
that cuts from the east coast to the west coast, because there's a lot of marinas up the west coast of Florida that are like resort-like. So we might do that,
or the Keys.
And then we're talking about the following spring or summer actually going up into Canada.
Great Lakes, go up the Hudson.
Yeah.
We'll have to get our A in there. Lindsay, go up
Lindsay
and see
Phillips,
Lindsay.
Kate Bradbury. Yeah, we're going to have to go see our Canadian friends and go up through the waterways up there. So that's what we're looking like. But you know, the cool thing is, even though we have these plans, other than May, June, July, August, September is infirm, that's it. Because things can change, and we just roll with it.
We do change things. We change our plans.
Like Lindsay, we're coming, I think. So we actually had a plan that we were going to be here because tomorrow and Monday are going to be really stormy, and then I work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so we thought we'd leave Friday. But now the things are changing, the weather might change, and so we don't know what we're going to do. But I think we said earlier, we just roll with it. We just figure out what we're going to do, and we roll with it. So unless you got any last-minute questions, that's 1 year on the boat, which is pretty dang cool.
We're having a good time.
Having a great time. Well, we're probably going to sign off, but if you have any other questions or anything like that, you can put them in. We're both, I'm sure, going to check things out, and we'll be sure to reply to you. But to all of our Pennsylvania friends, May and June, we're going to be on the Chesapeake. So we'd love to see as many of you as we can. And then we'll be in New England.
Thanks for tuning in. And do something adventurous.
Go
outside your comfort zone. It's awesome.
Sand's running out of the hourglass. Don't forget. All right, everybody. Take care. Have a good night.